Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Bhakti Fundamentals. Today, we continue our mini-series on the topic of material nature, or Prakriti Tattva in Sanskrit. In particular, we have been exploring the three modes of nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance, and learning about how these powerful forces shape the material world, and more importantly, how they subtly influence our choices, behavior, and consciousness. In our last session, we took a close look at three categories: food and drink, music, and environments. And we examined how different kinds of food items, music, and places align with the three modes of nature. These real-world examples brought the concept of the modes to life, showing how they manifest in our daily experiences. Why does this matter? Well, understanding how the modes influence everything in this world helps us to make conscious and deliberate choices about what we surround ourselves with, whether it's the food we eat, the music we listen to, or the places where we spend our time. This awareness allows us to cultivate uplifting influences that remind us of our spiritual identity. Today, we're excited to explore three more categories: home decor, behaviors, and welfare service or charity. These categories will give us fresh perspectives on how the modes influence the way we live and interact with others in this world. What's our goal in continuing this discussion? By building on the examples from our previous session, we aim to uncover practical principles that we'll then be able to apply to countless other aspects of our lives, whether it's the objects and people we surround ourselves with, the places we go, the actions we perform, or the attitudes that we cultivate. These last two sessions on real-world examples hopefully move the modes of material nature from the realm of theory to the realm of practical application. Through these sessions, we hope to sharpen our spiritual awareness, empowering us to make choices that align with our spiritual values. So with that in mind, let's dive into today's session and see how the modes of nature influence these next three categories. Our first category today is home decor. And here we see a similar theme that we did in our last session when we covered environments. Home decor in the mode of ignorance reflects neglect and inattention. The space may be disorganized, unclean, or poorly maintained, creating a stagnant atmosphere. Perhaps disturbing posters or negative imagery line the walls. Maybe there are beer cans or ashtrays lying around. By contrast, home decor in the mode of passion is often bold, flashy, and designed to impress. It features vibrant colors, elaborate furnishings, or trendy items that make a strong statement. The space may be filled with decorative pieces that reflect ambition and status, or that stimulate our senses, such as large entertainment systems, ornate furniture, or eye-catching artwork. While visually exciting, this type of decor often promotes restlessness and attachment to material items and material success. Finally, home decor in the mode of goodness is simple, clean, and well-maintained, functional, and uplifting to our consciousness. It may incorporate natural materials and inspiring, thoughtful decor. Live plants, gentle lighting, and uncluttered spaces create a calming environment conducive to introspection. And of course, we have our Shuddha Sattva category, home decor in purified goodness. This type of decor is centered around Krishna and spiritual consciousness. It often includes items such as a home altar with paintings of Krishna or a deity form of Krishna, along with other items used in devotional practices. Spiritual books and artwork depicting Krishna's activities or other transcendental themes are prominent in such homes, serving as reminders of Krishna. Flowers and plants, especially those whose blooms or fruits can be offered to Krishna, are often found in Shuddha Sattvic environments. Furniture is simple and clean, chosen to support a lifestyle of simple living and high thinking, free from excess or material indulgence. The overall energy of a home in Shuddha Sattva is peaceful, uplifting, and spiritually inspiring, creating an environment that aligns with practicing Bhakti Yoga. Now, so far in our real-world examples, we've explored items, objects, and places in the various modes. Next, we look at how the modes of nature powerfully influence our behavior in profound ways. By understanding how these modes manifest in our actions, we can begin to recognize these qualities in ourselves and others. This helps us to identify areas where we may be influenced by lower modes, and then work toward cultivating higher, more uplifting behaviors, which actually happens naturally when we begin to practice Bhakti Yoga. As we engage in devotional activities such as chanting, hearing about Krishna, and associating with spiritually minded individuals, our consciousness is naturally elevated to the spiritual platform, wherein we become aware of ourself in relation to the Supreme, or Krishna. So let's now dive in to our next category of behavior. When controlled more by the mode of ignorance, we may evidence indifference or laziness, a lack of care or interest in others' feelings or well-being. We might find ourselves responding to others with cynicism, hostility, or apathy. We may neglect our work or familial duties, or fail to take responsibility for our actions. Behavior in the mode of ignorance may also manifest in the form of self-destructive habits, like illicit drug use or excessive intoxication, both of which dull our consciousness and cloud our judgment. Meanwhile, when we're more influenced by the mode of passion, our behavior tends to be emotionally reactive, quick to anger, frustration, or excitement when faced with challenges. The mode of passion often fosters a desire for recognition within us, leading us to engage with others in ways that seek approval, attention, or status. In our interactions, we may adopt a transactional mindset, helping others with the expectation of receiving something in return, whether it's praise, favors, or material benefits. Additionally, being in the mode of passion often makes us highly attached to outcomes, measuring our worth or success by how others respond or by our external achievements. The restlessness and attachment to matter that comes about as a result of associating with the mode of passion can create stress and dissatisfaction, keeping us bound to a cycle of striving and seeking fulfillment in temporary material gains. Finally, when we're more influenced by the mode of goodness, our behavior reflects empathy, patience, and calmness, free from emotional outbursts. We will treat others with dignity and kindness, and our communication becomes constructive, helpful, and thoughtful. These qualities promote harmony in our relationships and encourage a balanced, peaceful life. However, above even behavior in the mode of goodness is behavior of one acting in Bhakti Yoga. It's our Shuddha Sattva category on the far right. One who is practicing Bhakti Yoga will gradually evidence the 26 qualities of a devotee of the Lord. These 26 qualities, listed in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of our foundational Bhakti scriptures, are as follows. A devotee of Krishna is kind to everyone, does not quarrel with anyone, fixed in the absolute truth, equal to everyone, faultless, charitable, mild, clean, simple, benevolent, peaceful, completely attached to Krishna, has no material hankering, meek, steady, self-controlled, does not eat more than required, sane, respectful, humble, grave, compassionate, friendly, poetic, expert, and silent. Now this is quite the list, and it may feel distant or unattainable even, but these qualities actually begin to arise naturally in one who sincerely practices Bhakti Yoga. They don't need to be artificially cultivated, as they manifest over time through the purifying process of devotional service. While we could dedicate an entire session to exploring these qualities, and we just may, for now it's worth reflecting on how Bhakti Yoga brings about a gradual and profound transformation in character, consciousness, and behavior. For our last category today, we have one that may surprise you: charity, or welfare service or aid. While charity is often viewed as inherently virtuous, Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that even acts of giving are influenced by the three modes of material nature. Depending on the intent, consciousness, and circumstances, charity can fall into the modes of ignorance, passion, or goodness, but it can also transcend these modes when performed as an offering to Krishna. By examining this topic, we can better understand how to elevate our acts of giving to their highest potential, aligning them with spiritual principles. Let's explore charity through the lens of the modes and how it manifests in both material and spiritual forms. Charity in the mode of ignorance is characterized by thoughtlessness and disregard sometimes. Such giving often lacks respect or proper etiquette, with aid being offered carelessly or discourteously. Or the charity may be given in unclean or impure places, or at inappropriate and inauspicious times. A hallmark of charity in the mode of ignorance is its harmful impact. Instead of uplifting the recipient, it perpetuates unethical or destructive behavior. For example, providing money or resources that enable intoxication or exploitation does more harm than good, entrenching the recipient in ignorance and failing to elevate their consciousness. Charity in the mode of passion is often transactional, driven by personal gain or a desire for recognition. This type of giving is often accompanied by an expectation of return, such as social status, praise, or a nameplate on a wall somewhere acknowledging a large donation. Charity in the mode of passion may also be given grudgingly, rendered under pressure or with reluctance rather than genuine care. Additionally, it's common for the giver to later regret their generosity, lamenting, "Why did I spend so much on that?" Such regret reveals the self-serving motives behind the act, as the focus remains on material rewards rather than the well-being of the recipient. By contrast, charity in the mode of goodness, sattva guna, is thoughtfully rendered and uplifting for the recipient. It's given out of a sense of duty or compassion, with no expectation of recognition or reward. Such giving is offered freely and without regret, motivated solely by the desire to help others. Careful attention is paid to the recipient, ensuring that the aid will be used appropriately. Additionally, charity in the mode of goodness considers the timing and circumstances of the giving, with gifts rendered at a suitable time and place. However, as with our other categories today and last time, beyond the modes of material nature is charity in Shuddha Sattva, or pure goodness. This transcendental form of giving is an offering to Krishna, and thus it's transformed into an act of devotional service, free from material motivations. One example we have on screen is volunteering at a Care for Cows program at a Bhakti Yoga farm. This service supports cows, which we learn in the Srimad Bhagavatam are especially dear to Krishna. One reason is that cows are like our mothers, generously providing us with their milk. And actions that please Krishna, such as caring for cows, also purify our hearts and help us cultivate deeper devotion to him. Another example we have on screen is helping out with a prasadam distribution program, in which sanctified food, vegetarian food that has been offered to Krishna prior to being consumed, is shared with others. This type of service elevates the consciousness of both the giver and the recipient, as prasadam carries Krishna's mercy. Finally, contributing our skills or offering support to a Bhakti Yoga teaching center or temple, whether through helping to organize events, leading a chanting session, or aiding in maintaining the space, helps to spread Krishna consciousness. Such service fosters a spiritually uplifting environment for all participants, bringing everyone involved closer to Krishna. Charity in Shuddha Sattva is devotional service. When charity is performed as an offering to Krishna or in service to the spreading of Bhakti Yoga, the spiritual consciousness behind the charity transforms otherwise ordinary acts of giving into spiritual acts of devotional service. Such charity, since it is devotional service, purifies the giver, benefits the recipients, and connects everyone involved to Krishna, the Supreme. The purpose of today's session, continuing our real-world examples, is to deepen our understanding of how everything we do, see, hear, taste, touch, or interact with in the material world is influenced by the modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. Indeed, these modes of nature permeate every aspect of material existence, shaping our experiences and interactions with others. By recognizing their influence in our lives, we can begin to categorize various facets of our lives, such as food, music, environments, home decor, clothing, behaviors, and even relationships, according to the dominant mode or modes that they reflect. While some modal categorizations are clear-cut, others require more discernment, as an individual's consciousness can create nuance or gray areas within these classifications. For instance, certain careers align strongly with specific modes of nature. Work associated with violence or harm, such as butchers, or with intoxication or exploitation, like prostitution, are more firmly rooted in the mode of ignorance, tamaguna, because they perpetuate activities that degrade our consciousness. However, professionals such as business people, doctors, lawyers, teachers, or clergy people can reflect different modes depending on their consciousness and approach to their job. The way a person approaches their work, the values they uphold, and their underlying motivations play a role in determining whether their work is situated more in the mode of goodness, passion, or ignorance, even within the same career. Take teaching, for instance. A teacher influenced by the mode of ignorance might resent their job, thinking, "Why do I have to teach these stupid kids?" They might even derive pleasure from punishing or demeaning students. A teacher in the mode of passion might prioritize personal recognition, focusing more on their own reputation, achievements, or competition with peers, rather than the well-being of their students as much. A teacher in the mode of goodness will genuinely care about their students, approaching the role with compassion, patience, and a sincere desire to help them grow and succeed. As this example shows, it's not always black and white. The same career can manifest differently based on the dominant mode or modes influencing an individual. Thus, individual consciousness is important. However, as we've learned in our sessions on the modes of nature, we naturally absorb the qualities of the people and environments that we associate with. For instance, working in a business environment where the energy and people are heavily influenced by the mode of passion can subtly affect us. The competitive and ambitious atmosphere prevalent in such workplaces may shape our attitudes, behaviors, and even priorities over time. Therefore, when approaching a career or workplace, it's crucial to be mindful of this dynamic. Then we can take proactive steps to counteract external influences and remain Krishna conscious even while surrounded by the modes of nature. For example, say we work at an office. Bringing our japa beads to work and chanting during breaks allows us to reconnect with Krishna and refocus our mind. Keeping a Bhagavad Gita on our desk not only serves as a personal reminder of our spiritual goals, but also invites conversations with curious coworkers, providing opportunities to share Krishna consciousness in a natural way. These small spiritual actions help us transcend the influence of the modes around us. Coming out of this session, take some time to reflect on various items, activities, places, and behaviors in this world and try to categorize them according to the modes of material nature. This simple yet powerful exercise will deepen your understanding of how these modes influence everything around us and shape our experiences. For instance, consider a category as seemingly innocuous as clothing, and explore how different styles reflect the modes of nature. Is the clothing clean and modest, aligning with the mode of goodness? Or is it flashy and attention-seeking, reflecting the mode of passion? Or perhaps it is dirty, unkempt, and smelly, aligning with the mode of ignorance. Even something as simple as our attire can provide insight into the modes influencing us. Similarly, you can apply this framework to other aspects of your life, like entertainment, relationships, work habits, or even how you spend your free time. By regularly examining your choices and environments through the lens of the modes of nature, you'll gain valuable insights into their subtle effects on your consciousness. This awareness empowers you to consciously align your actions, possessions, and relationships with qualities that uplift your consciousness and support your spiritual growth. So that's all we have for today. This session concludes our mini-series on the modes of material nature for now. Please feel free to reach out with any questions you might have and let us know how the exercise goes for you. We'd love to hear your reflections and insights. In the meantime, thank you for listening to our session today, and we'll see you next time on Bhakti Fundamentals.